हेलो गाइस तो आज हम एक और गेम का हेलो गाइस तो आज हम एक और गेम पे रिएक्ट करने वाले हैं जिसका नाम है डिस्ट्रॉय ऑल ह्यूमंस। पता है ये गेम पुरानी है पर इसका एक नया रीमेक वर्जन आ रहा है, तो आज हम उसे पे रिएक्ट करने वाले हैं। तो लेट्स डिस्ट्रॉय ऑल ह्यूमंस।
Whether it's 2005 or 2020, there's something cathartic about running amok in an idyllic 1950s world as an angry gray alien and slurping up human brains by the gallon. This upgraded remaster of the original Destroy All Humans recaptures that simple joy, and it does a respectable job of upgrading the look and feel. It was never a masterpiece of open-world third-person action, but it still knows how to have some fun.
तो बेसिकली यहाँ पे ग्राफिक्स और सब कुछ यहाँ पे रीमेक किया है, उनको अच्छे से अपग्रेड किया है यहाँ पे।
All things considered, the completely remade graphics look pretty good. There's plenty of detail on Crypto's sneering, toothy character model, and the world looks colorful, if a little sparse. Human characters are much more cartoonish than they originally were, which works well. And even though their animations aren't great, the redone cutscenes are a big improvement. All of the voice acting is straight out of the 2005 version, so we get the good with the bad. The main character,
so voice acting अभी भी वही पुरानी है.
Sounds like some kind of weird alien hybrid between Jack Nicholson and Duke Nukem, and his lines usually aren't very funny. Psych. On the other hand, you hear much more chatter from your alien overlord, who's played by Invader Zim's Richard Horvitz, and he's always amusingly over the top as he screams orders at you.
What can I, a lowly novice, do to help bring about the destruction of Earth and the inevitable reign of the Furon Empire? Well, I'll tell you.
Destroy all humans.
Which is no surprise, since playing as a rampaging monster is a concept that definitely hasn't gone out of style in the last 15 years. Just look at Maneater, for instance. Almost immediately, you wield a wide range of alien powers, like a jetpack, the ability to throw people around with your mind, pop people's heads so you can feel their brains, and disguise
mind ability भी इसके पास सब कुछ है.
It grows from there with
ये तो अपने आप को बदल भी सकता है इंसान में.
to mess around with. Enemy AI is very basic, and the hordes of easily swatted enemies spawn all around you. So it's a simple but fun style of action as you bounce around zapping 50s era police.
तो ये अपने माइंड से कंट्रोल भी कर सकता है. खतरनाक.
And blasting tanks. The controls work well, and most of the weapons are good fun to use. It's hard to go wrong with a chain lightning gun, a plasma blaster that reduces victims to skeletons, and a grenade launcher. The anal probe is fairly useless though.
ये गेम काफी बढ़िया लग रही है मेरे को. आप में से किसी ने खेला होगा क्या इस गेम को? कमेंट में बताओ मुझे.
Which makes the new target lock feel pretty unnecessary. To keep that action from getting too monotonous, every so often you jump in your flying saucer and wreak havoc from above with your death ray. The controls are a little bit wonky, but it's satisfying to be able to blow up nearly any building, even though the explosion effect is a little weird and blobby. There is some skill involved since you have to block incoming missiles with carefully timed shields, but it's generally
ये भी एक टाइप का ओपन वर्ल्ड गेम है ये.
What feels a little old is the structure of the levels, which are a series of modestly sized, self-contained open worlds, and they're sparsely populated relative to what we've become accustomed to over the past decade. Still, the settings are decently diverse, and there are plenty of civilians strolling around with brains ripe for the picking. Plus, there are some amusing gags when you use your mind-reading powers on them.
Stella!
Mind भी read कर सकते हैं हम तो.
Each mission has optional side objectives, such as scoring kills with explosives or reaching a goal undetected, which adds some good replayability. On top of that, all of the maps include challenges like rampages and abductions, where you have to toss people or things into a beam that sucks them up. You can duck into those between missions to earn cash for weapon upgrades. Between those side activities and the campaign missions, Destroy All Humans kept me busy for about 15 hours. Nearly all of the missions are effectively identical to the original game. Though there's one new mission
काफी कुछ है इस गेम में.
Sabotage the Air Force's attempt to make its own version of the flying saucer. It fits in well, to the point where I wouldn't have known it was new if it hadn't been pointed out, which is both good and bad. It's a lot of very similar light stealth gameplay, which isn't the strongest part of Destroy All Humans, but the story contains some of the better moments of the entire campaign.
ये कौन मरा है? इसका भाई होगा.
Almost Hitman-like assassinations I'd have liked to have seen more of. Blasting through the bright and cheery 1950s world of Destroy All Humans is a simple but satisfying kind of fun, and there's a lot to be said for that. Just like the original, this
1950s का world बनाया है इन्होंने इसमें.
Its attitude is in full force all the way through, thanks to some overpowered alien abilities that let you mow down the puny human resistance like an overlord. For more, check out our graphics comparison between the original and the remake, and the first 16 minutes of gameplay. And for everything else, stick with IGN.
Okay, monkeys. You want a war? You got a war.
Okay. तो बस गाइस इसमें इतना ही था. तो आपको ये कैसा लगा आप मुझे कमेंट में बताइए. तो आप इसका ओरिजिनल पार्ट खेल चुके हो कि नहीं, आप इसको भी मुझे कमेंट करके बताइए नीचे. और इस वीडियो को लाइक ज़रूर कर दीजिए और इसको अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ शेयर कीजिए. और जाते जाते बस सब्सक्राइब बटन दबा दीजिए और मिलता हूँ मैं आपको अगले वीडियो में, तब तक के लिए गुड बाय।